You're watching WRKM Channel 22, number one in the region. Following WRKM broadcast for mature audiences only. What happens when the highest office in the land pursues edicts that are against the very teachings they claim to care about, they claim to uphold? Is Maga based on the teachings of Jesus Christ, or is it being weaponized by selfish, foolish fucks? Told you this was a mature audiences only situation. From immigration to human rights to the rich oligarchs, we're going to ask, what would Jesus do? Those are the talks we can have when the sun is up. Good evening. I'm Ralph Fuentes. This will end in darkness. We're back. We took some time off to enjoy the holidays, to wait for the beginning of the new golden age. That's what they're claiming. Welcome to the new gilded age, more than likely. We wanted to wait a bit, and we didn't want to jump to go have a take on what's going on. We wanted to wait, sit back, and see how things played out. Last time we were here, we talked about the possible cabinet members. Some of them are being confirmed as we speak. Now we have our first executive orders out. We now have the beginning of the first 100 days of the second Trump presidency. And it now offers us a glimpse in what the overall vision is. But of course, throughout this whole entire election, throughout the proceedings of it, for the last 4 years, we've been told that MAGA is a very Christian movement. It's a Christian nationalist movement, some would say. There are some Christian nationalists that could be confirmed. So we wanted to ask the question, how much of MAGA is actually Christian? How much of it would stand up to the test of Jesus Christ? Now, can anyone stand up to the test of Jesus Christ? I cannot. Though, in my mind, I'm a pretty cool guy. And I do think I have things that Jesus would be kind of into. He'd like my sunglasses. He'd think my vest with all my pins are cool. He would probably think my podcast is decent. Wouldn't go on it. He probably would never want to be a guest on this show. And that's fair. There's a lot of cursing on this show. I don't think he'd be into that. So, hurts a little bit thinking Jesus would never come on my podcast. It's a little hurtful. But hey, maybe Lucifer will come on. I'll take any guest I can get from the other realm if they're willing to come here. I'm not going to do that Kamala bullshit. Not going to have me fly out to you for an hour. If Rogan's not flying for Kamala, I'm not going to hell for Satan. He's got to come here if he wants to get interviewed. Same thing with Jesus. I'm not going over there. Come here. I'm also lazy and afraid of all air travel. So that definitely puts a hindrance on who I would be able to get as a guest. But back on the ranch, as my dad used to say, though he never grew up on a ranch. He grew up in the projects. Still confusing as how that term get stuck in his vernacular. But Christian nationalism, what is it? Well, I have some notes. That's what we've been doing recently on the show. We've been having some notes. Because, as you can tell from past episodes, I go places and forget where I am. But I always get back to where I belong. I bring it back. But now, in an effort to make this show better, to make this podcast great again, we are taking notes on things. Because I want to be a bit more informative to the best of my ability. As I always say on this show, keep in mind, these are my thoughts. These are my opinions. And they're only as well researched as the time I've put into. So you might have to still do some of your own research. But use me as a launching pad to do your own research. I don't know. I'm good for that. That's what makes me a good drinking buddy. I put seeds in your brain, and you go and find them later. Christian nationalism is an ideological framework that combines Christian identity and national identity, often asserting that the United States is a Christian nation and that Christianity should be prioritized in public life, laws, and government policies. It is not about religion. It's about intertwining Christian values with the fabric of American political life and national identity, which is confusing because if you're upholding Christian values, that's religious. So how could it not be about the religion? It kind of feels like a full of shit argument. It's like going, hey, you know what? It's complicated. When people would tell you, oh, it's complicated, it's never complicated. It's actually quite simple. People like the complicated thing because it can be whatever you want it to be. We're together, we're not together. I can fuck other people, you can fuck other people. We'll fuck each other all the time, but then always say it's complicated while not fucking other people. It's always horse shit. This is what I'm getting to. It's never complicated. It's always goddamn simple. Take a stand. Be honest about it. Put it on Facebook. Put the picture on Instagram. Tweet about them. Make a TikTok with them. Let people know it's not complicated. You are together. Now, if you're not together, put the other girl you're seeing up on there so the other person realizes you're not with the other person. Make it very clear. Intentions need to be clear. It's complicated. It's no different in Christian nationalism. Let's see how people take to that one. That's a bold take. I know there's plenty of females from my past going, oh, really? And yeah, that's right. I'm a taken man now. You can think what you want. I belong to someone, and it's not complicated. It's very serious. Very simple, too. Haters gonna hate. National identity rooted in Christianity. Christian nationalists believe the U.S. was founded as a Christian nation based on biblical principles, and the country's laws should reflect Christian morality. This can manifest in calls of upholding Christian values in the public sphere, such as marriage, religious observance, and abortion. We've seen that. That's the whole conservative platform, really, the moral majority, as we talked about them last episode. This is what they stand for, right? And the thing is this. We are once again talking about religious values. Marriage only seems to come up, really, when it comes to the gays. When it comes to people who, according to the religious people, aren't doing marriage right. But then again, I've seen the right marriages not do the right things. That's the beauty of growing up Catholic, really. I got to realize how full of shit Christianity was. Though I still believe in Jesus a little bit, though I still believe in God a lot, there's a lot to it that I can go, oh no, why not let the gay people get married? They might be more faithful to one another. The regular straights aren't. That's always been my go-to. I've seen many straight marriages fail. And it's simple. It's not complicated at all. They're terrible people. Or there's a situation going on in the marriage that we don't know about. But typically when one's fucking someone else, that person's a bad person. But he gets to tell you, can you abort your fetus? Who you're allowed to marry? And what Christian values you should uphold. I don't make the rules, Bobby. This is just the Christian nationals telling me what to do. It's their country now. And I'm just trying to get used to it. For many Christian nationalists, political power is a means of promoting and defending the religious worldview. They view the government as a vehicle to protect and advance Christian values, which they believe should shape the national governance. The colonial era. Now let's think about it, right? Separation of church and state, that's a colonial concept that comes from our Constitution. While the Constitution established separation of church and state, early American settlers often saw their political experiments as aligned with Christian values, such as the Puritans in New England, which, once again, fuck New England. Okay? New England is a turncoat section of America. Because how dare you call yourselves New England? Okay? New York rules, okay, as a name, so we're going to do that when the Duke of York will kick his ass anytime, any day. He can bring it. But New England, that's a little different. Being named after a duke is one thing. Being named after the whole country that fucking depressed us is a whole fucking other. Okay? So New England just stopped bitching out and decided to change that name. But then again, most of the racists I know come from New England. So it makes sense. Even in post-World War II America, the moral majority, the religious right, they came back hot and heavy because they came back to what they felt was scary times, because women were now working because their husbands were at war, and women dared to have careers because someone had to feed the family as they were saving the world, which fair, you know. We were fighting Nazis. So they really couldn't pay the bills back home. But the women could. But I guarantee you, when these guys came back and saw women had jobs and careers, that fucked them up. Many marriages faced hardship there because how dare she decide to make money for this family? How dare she? Even though two incomes are better than one, and sometimes the right will say that women going to the workplace was a tax scam to get more taxes out of the American people, and we should send women back to the kitchen. Now let them work because we have to fight against those taxes because taxation is theft. That's what I hear on the discords. All right. That's what I'm hearing on the internet. Once again, it's a Christian right nation now. I'm just learning the rules. But I'm going to be honest with you. My girlfriend cannot afford not to work. I need her to work. I do not have the job to keep her home. I do not make that kind of money. Especially if you're not going to lower the prices on things. How can I subjugate her correctly according to the new country I live in if I cannot afford to do so? Do I take two jobs? Now I'm missing time with my future child. So I'm now not being a good dad and a masculine man for my child. They don't see me. And then in their mind, if the dad's not there, girls end up on stripper poles or OnlyFans. That's, once again, that's not what I believe. That is the new Christian nation I belong to. And I'm just trying to fit in because it's their country now. All right? They won. This can get bad really quickly. I have a show, and I have several episodes that can be brought up against me in hearings with Congress. Like Zuckerberg, like Bezos, I too must bend the knee. It's getting really hot in here. Maybe America could be great. I don't know. It's a little concerning what you're able to say now. Because you know how they were talking about free speech was being taken away by the liberals, but now all the tech companies of all the apps all friends with him, and that kind of creates a new one state media, don't you think? And you think he's gonna keep allowing people to say what they want about him? He's sued people several times. He wants to expand libel laws. So we do have to be a bit careful, I think, of what we say. Do you sense the uncomfortableness, Bobby? It's not you on camera, it's me. He'll come after me. But that's Christian nationalism in a nutshell. It's what would Jesus do according to them? And apparently, what would Jesus do according to them is be an asshole. Is be a real prick. Apparently, Jesus has no sympathy for those struggling. Apparently, Jesus has no sympathy for those struggling with their identity, their immigration status, and loves the rich. Apparently, that's the kind of guy Jesus is. And you know what? I get it. He spent most of his time hanging out with the poor people, and that's a bad brand. You don't win championships with that brand. You gotta go where the money is. And now with church attendance declining, if Jesus goes to the oligarchs, I get it. There's money there. Fake crypto money, really, that doesn't have real intrinsic value. Most of it's all in hype and what could be as opposed to what is. So maybe Jesus coin is the future. Maybe Jesus would have liked that. Maybe if the tax collectors were only dealing in Jesus coin or Nazar coin, you know, when it said Nazarene, Nazar coin, maybe he would have been all right with that. I like to think. Jesus a crypto bro. We'll throw an image on that. We'll AI that, throw that up right there. Jesus a crypto bro, maybe. I can get into that. But with Christian nationalism comes some executive orders, comes new ways to deal with the country's biggest problems, according to them. Let's look at some biblical passages that talk to us about where their minds might be. You look at Matthew chapter 25, 35, verse 35, 36. It's crazy. I never thought I'd be the one talking Bible passages after all these years. And I always thought if I did, it'd be at a church, but not here in our small studio and a microphone, and to avoid existentialism at its best. What did Jesus and the rest of them say about the immigrants? For I was hungry. You gave me something to eat. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. Great words from Matthew. Great words from Matthew. You should help a stranger out. That seems like a real Jesus-y thing to do. This is a great thing to do. Let's look at the book of Leviticus. When a stranger sojourns with you in your land, you shall not do him wrong. You shall love him as yourself. Well, that seems clear and cut, doesn't it? That's good wisdom from the Bible. That's great wisdom from the Bible. Let's see how Christian nationalists and Maga interpreted those passages. Trump declared a state of emergency, deploying troops, including National Guard, to enforce border security. While the government have an obligation to secure the borders, how might Jesus' call, "Welcome to the stranger," inform the way we handle vulnerable migrants? So not once did that entire time did he heed the words of Matthew. Remain in Mexico and the refugee programs. How great. Remain in Mexico. Asylum seekers must wait outside the U.S. for their cases, leading to extensive backlogs and challenging living conditions in border camps. Refugee admissions. Trump paused and severely limited refugee entries until further notice, impacting thousands fleeing persecution, including Afghans previously cleared for resettlement. He also ended birthright citizenship. A controversial executive order aims to stop recognizing U.S. citizenship for children born to undocumented immigrants, which is protected by the 14th Amendment. You see? It totally aligns with the Bible. He is doing what's right for them. He is bringing them in, not really, more at an arm's length. Keep them there. You don't want their disease. That's what I'm hearing on the internet. You have to be careful. They might stab you. That's what I'm hearing on the internet. You have to keep them far, far away. Embracing them. Not really embracing them because they're far away. More caressing them from a distance. More like when you go to a petting zoo. You kind of just feed them a little bit. Like little nuts they get. Like, the little feed you would get when you would feed animals at the Bronx Zoo. It's like disgusting smelling feed. And you're like, lick your hand. That is what we're doing. That's what Jesus would do, I think, according to them. That seems to be the move. Never mind, Jesus Christ himself was a refugee at birth. Not even like growing up, because he definitely traveled around, but he was a refugee at birth. Everyone forgets that people were out to get this dude early. And King Herod was a powerful man at that time. And he heard of the prophecy and he started killing kids left and right. He ran a tyrannical government. And his parents, Jesus and Mary and Joseph, shout out to them, decided to leave. They fled. They had to go. They could not live under this government anymore. And they fled to Egypt. And thank God for Egypt for letting them in, because we got the Christ. How about that? Now, one would say America has been a bit of a King Herod now, haven't we? We are running a gangster's paradise, haven't we? And everyone's just trying to get their cut in the gangster's paradise, in this tyranny of a sense. Have we not also caused many, many problems in any of these countries in which these migrants come from? Have we not been the King Herods of Guatemala, of the Congo, of Iran, of Venezuela, when we, our government, the CIA, destabilizes their governments, destabilizes their borders? Have we not taken things from them? As we always say on this show, America's a gangster's paradise and everyone's trying to get their cut. The Guatemalans are coming here to get their cut when we took their fruit. The Congolese come here to get their cut from when we took their minerals. The Iranians come here to get their cut when we took their oil. But, heavens forbid, they do so, because it questions our empire. And I think that's really what it is. For a person on this side of the aisle of the Christian nationalism and stuff like that, they use Jesus and all this other stuff to go, hey, our brand is very negative, but we're wearing a cross. And they used to call that greenwashing. Like, you ever seen a movie that would go, this is dedicated to the preservation of the rainforest, and it's a really shitty movie? Well, it's a greenwash, and it's a way of making the movie seem much more, I wouldn't say important, but oh, that's nice. It's a shitty movie, but that's nice. It's for the planet, and people should support it because it's dedicated to the preservation of the rainforest. That's greenwashing. Christian nationalism is just Jesus washing. Certainly not washing these migrants' feet, but certainly washing up their image to go, hey, we love Jesus, but we hate the things Jesus would have stood for. And that's the thing about it. Like, we legitimately, as a country, have destabilized half the planet. Half the planet. And we're surprised that people came here? Well, because if you won't let them win in their own country, maybe they'll win here. Maybe you'll let them live here if they're American citizens. Or they sneak in and work for a bunch of years. They use their child as an anchor to be in here. You're done destabilized everywhere else. Where are they allowed to exist exactly? That's the one question none of these guys have an answer for. And if we're looking at it from a Jesus perspective, Jesus wasn't hanging around saying, make Nazareth great again. He got up off his ass and went other places because he knew staying in one place, being beholden to one place, is not how you start a revolution. It's not how you expand your mind spiritually. When you are stuck in one place, and I deal with this all the time with New Yorkers, it's so fucking annoying. We also have a religion here. But when you stay in one place, that place tends to define you. It's all you know. And any outsider becomes a threat to your existence. And that's a problem. That's a problem. If Jesus didn't go to Galilee and all these other places, he wouldn't have picked up the apostles. He wouldn't have met new people. He wouldn't have hung out with all these prostitutes, tax collectors, the sick, all these people that directly affected his life and his road to where he was going and how he affected their lives. That's the thing about being a refugee of the world, really. You're just going on a journey of self-discovery to get somewhere better. So when these people come to this country, they're not here to rob it. They're here to get their cut of the crime that was already done, but what they're here to do is something far more important and spiritual, I feel. And yes, are there bad apples? There's bad apples here. There's bad apples here. Everyone talks about Lincoln Riley, right? Migrant killed Lincoln Riley, and God bless her soul, I hope she's resting, because it's a terrible thing that happened to her. But no one ever brings up the Lincoln Rileys we have left in every country we've ever invaded, ever destabilized, destroyed. We have a bunch of Lincoln Rileys on our rap sheet. So who's holding us accountable? Who's passing bills to keep us out of other countries? Nobody, because they ain't got the power to do it. So if you want to be an empire, you want to be the big boy around town, empires only exist through the oppression of other cultures. That's why empires exist. And we're all complicit in some way because we don't pay attention to it. We blindly vote for warmongers and shit. We blindly just go, fuck it, it's all good. As long as the price of things don't go up, I'm fine. Destroy who you have to destroy. I just don't have time for the other stuff. Don't even tell me what's going on out there. But now, the empire has to reap what it sows. Now those people come to your doorstep. You owe me. Yeah, I had nothing to do with you. You destabilized my country. You fucked me up over here economically. You owe. That's how it is. That's how gangsters get caught all the time. Drug dealers always get caught like that. Always. When you're out in the street, you'll fuck someone up or you fuck somebody over without even knowing it. And then those people who you fucked over without you even knowing are the ones that clap you. Because you were acting like you can do whatever you want. And there was no consequence. And that's America. We walked around acting like there was no consequence. We weren't being Christ-like in it. We weren't out there preaching the word of anything, really. We weren't spreading democracy anywhere. Because everywhere we tried to spread democracy to, it never took. It's kind of interesting how that works. We keep trying to spread democracy and no one takes it. It's almost as if they know that the preacher is stealing from the collection plate. So how could I trust this religion? It's kind of why I can't do the whole community thing or religion thing, because I always knew of the shiciness going on in my church. So to me, I fully understand if you're a country or you're a migrant and you're sitting in your country going, well, you know what? Fuck this. This guy's coming over here to tell me that I should subscribe to his democracy, his way of thinking. But yet he's robbing us at the same time doing it. Well, I'm going to go over there and get what I'm owed. I'm going to get that citizenship that I'm really owed. I'm owed that. You fucked me up. You owe me that. You owe me the money you got over here. The fruit you got over here, you owe us for that. All these resources you owe. And that's the one problem everyone has, I think. I think in all forms of life, no one ever wants to owe anybody shit. So that's why there's no community. That's why people don't really team up like that, because when you owe, you know that favor's gonna come due. It's like The Godfather. The Godfather told that dude, listen, I'm gonna take care of this dude. I'm gonna take care of these guys that hurt your daughter. There's gonna be a time where I'm gonna ask you for a favor. That's it. And most times a favor don't come, but when a favor comes, you owe. Time to pay me back for that favor. And if you're lucky, it's just, hey, fix my son up, make sure he looks good for his mom. But other times, it's a lot more serious than that. And that's what we're getting. All these migrants are coming because they're owed something from us. Even on the subconscious, they may not look at it that way, but that's really what's happening. We owe them. And yeah, as an American, could that be frightening? Because how can they take things from me? But to be honest, they're not taking shit from me because I don't have shit to begin with. Like, I'm getting my cut of my crime with America. They ain't taking nothing from me. They're taking what's owed them. And once you start really thinking about that and start perceiving it that way, it changes everything. At least for me, it changed everything for me when I started looking at things like that. When you start looking at the things that happen internationally, even when I was younger, I didn't really understand immigration like that. I was like, why would you want to come here? What's going on in their country? Why not fix what you got? But then I realized you can't really fix what they got, because every time they fix it, we fuck it up. The people of Haiti elected a president that they wanted. We took him down. Nope, you can't have him. He's a threat to us. So then, well, fuck it then. If I can't have my own country, I can't have my own government, I'm coming to yours. Pay up. Pay me what you owe me. And that's really what it is. And life's a gangster game, man. Like, that's one thing, like, I think in society and civility, we forget that life's really gangster. Like, life's a real gangster ass game. And the bill always comes due. The bill always comes due. But the bill wouldn't have come due if these Christian nationalists, these right-wingers who were starting all these wars, actually were living by the words of Christ. These people are coming here because of what you did to them. You got to do what's right by them now. You have to. Are there ways of doing it 100%? We talk about it all the time on here. You can't just open the border up. But there's ways to get programs done where there are no backlogs. These people wait. Like, this lady was waiting for her appointment with immigration to get in. And they canceled that shit right when Trump got elected. And she's crying, going, I did it the right way, and still I don't get shit. So it's not about the right way anymore. It's about color of skin. That's what it really is. It's about, they are definitely afraid. And we talked about it with Elon Musk last episode. This idea of a white genocide. They are definitely afraid of it. They think it's happening. And it's like, no, y'all just don't produce enough children. And white women figured out we Latinos and black people are way better lovers. And that's just what it is. God damn it, I keep telling you, it's not our fault. It's not our fault. We're great. We have all the best songs. Y'all don't write music the way we write music. You don't. Air Supply is decent. Genuine, top tier. Come on. Genuine's better than Air Supply. That's just what it is. And I love Air Supply. Okay, I love Air Supply. Okay? There's a song I like. I can't remember it right now. But the title, Making Love Out of Nothing at All. That's one of my favorite songs ever. It's by Air Supply, all right? So those white boys got it, all right? Those white boys had something. But Genuine's genuine, dog. So the girls love Genuine. But if you cannot love these foreign people as one of your own, and if you do not intend to, because that's another thing about it. Like Elon Musk, and now he came out with the whole H-1Bs and all that jazz about these people who are very talented, H-1B immigrants that are here that work for these companies. The problem with H-1B is their whole H-1B status is tied to their employment. So what happens is these bosses will use and abuse them because they're afraid to lose their job because it's tied to their visa. So these guys are willing to, and that's why I say, oh, they outwork the average white American. Well, no fucking shit. You got a gun to the head. That's gunboat diplomacy right there. If I got a gun in your head, you're gonna real focus, don't you? You're gonna real focused. You're gonna do exactly what I want you to do with guns to your head. When all your life be taken like that, I fire you, you go back home. Come on. Of course they're working hard than average white American. That ain't fair. And that wasn't fair to the poor white Americans. That wasn't fair to them to even make that comparison. But one of the beautiful things about this current group, this cabal of right-wing politics, is that they're very honest. They just say shit because they know they can just say whatever they want. Their base is like, yeah, I think they got it right. He mentioned Jesus. He almost got shot and didn't. God kept him alive. I think he has a point. I think he knows what he's doing. And that's the Jesus washing. But they are very honest about what it is they feel and how they want to go about things. So for us on the left, at least we get to say, hey, you voted for that. You got what you wanted. Now you deal with it. Don't come crying to us now, because we tried to warn you. And they even told you who they were. But now you get to have fun with it. Go ahead. Roll the dice. Sadly, rolling the dice is going to be hurtful for a lot of people, but that's all you can do. That's all you can do. I had a friend of mine who was horrified when I said that. That was like, well, that's what they want. Let them have it. And then he kept listing all the things that can go wrong. I'm like, well, that's what they wanted. It's what they voted for. I can't tell them no. It's theirs now. Let them have it. Let's see how that works out. Let's see how that works out. And to wrap up, I guess, this part of the immigration debate, or the immigration portion of our show, is that at the end of the day, we all just want our cut. We always want our cut. And if my cut is still my cut, then I don't care if the other guy's getting a cut. Give him what you owe him. Pay him what you owe him for what you did to his country. Because that's what this is. It ain't got shit to do with anything else. You owe. We owe. And the debts come through. And the gangsters came to go collect. Because, all right, cool. If we can't do shit in our country, well, we gonna do shit here. But then you have Christian nationalism, how they differ with Jesus on very simple things about caring about other people. Jesus calls for active goodwill even towards his adversaries, breaking hostilities. He hung out with everybody. Back to what I was saying about Jesus traveling around. Jesus hung out with everybody because he realized I could hang out with all the rich dudes, but you know how their lives are. And let's even put it today. What am I going to learn hanging out with Elon Musk, hanging out with Mark Zuckerberg, that I don't know about life now? They're living life on a grand scale. They got a lot of money. I understand how they live. But if you really want to understand how society is built, how to change and make things better, you got to hang out with the low lives a little bit. You know, quotations on the low lives part. You got to go hang out with the hookers. You got to go hang out with the tax collectors, the dope boys. You got to hang out with the dope boys. You got to hang out with the immigrants. You got to hang out with the poor single mother who can't afford to pay her bills. You have to really go where the people are, because that's what life is. That's where real life happens, because there's real life stakes there. And that's what kind of gets me about the Christian nationalist shit. It's like they love these rich dudes who do not have high stakes. These dudes are worth billions of dollars. Losing $1 billion don't mean shit to them. They are so protected in how they've gamed the system that they don't need you to support them. But who needs you? Trans kids. Who needs you? Poor people. Who needs you? Minorities. People struggling to get through this system. And people talk about meritocracy. Say, how can it be a meritocracy when half the country couldn't even play the game until the 60s? So that's like looking at a sports franchise going, listen, for like a bunch of years, we hit you with every arbitration possible. You couldn't trade players. You couldn't get star players. We didn't let you have the best facility to train your players, not the best arena, no merch deal, no nothing. But now, hey, have all of it. Go build a franchise. Go win championships. That franchise is going to have a hard time because there's no culture of winning over there. There's none. It hasn't even been 100 years since the 60s yet. It's only 2025. We're not even 100 years from civil rights yet. But yet somehow, in all of this, we forget that, Jesus would have hung out with these people. They would have backed up these people, these DEI initiatives that people get so freaked out about. We wouldn't need the program if y'all just gave a shit. And I always tell people the true measure of America being a success is the day we could have a black or brown person be as mundane as the creators of Friends. Legitimately. If we too could have several of those people who made Grace Under Fire, what was the other whack ass fucking sitcoms that died, all of those shits, Wings. Like when we can have that level of mundane shit be given multiple seasons, that's when we've made it. But we don't have that really right now. Our stars don't make that kind of money yet. We're getting there. Lena Waithe continues to get greenlit, and her writing's trash. Kenya Burris continues to be greenlit. He's trash, but they're only 2 people. We need more. We need more. I remember when Barack Obama was president, we, black and brown people, had some words we wanted to say, had some things, some complaints we wanted to make, but we couldn't because there was only one black president. And when you only got one, you got to defend that one. Black football coaches, when there's that one, we had to defend that one no matter how terrible he was. We had to defend that dude because he's the only one we got. But now there's been multiple black coaches. Now we can shit on them. Now I can go, yeah, he's whack. You know what the fuck he's doing, but this one's good. You got to give us more space. Once you give us enough, we'll join you in shitting on a dude. But because we only get the one, we got to be protective of that. That's, I'm telling you. Like, I remember talking to an old black man about this years ago. And he was telling me, he's like, man, he's like, I would have loved to have been able to shit on Obama if I could have. He's like, well, he was the only one I got, bro. And I was like, I hear you. But that's the thing when Trump shuts down DEI initiatives, when he institutes their only two genders policies. Like, he's not living up to the acceptance that Jesus had of people different than him. Jesus would have been hanging out at the trans bars. He would have been at drag brunch. And I guarantee you, he would have been the flyest motherfucker there. And there definitely would have been someone dressed as Jesus in drag, and he would have appreciated that. Because Jesus is down to party. He turned water into wine. That's a party guy. And let's even look at, the heretical books. Him and Mary Magdalene got it on. She was a prostitute. He could look past her OnlyFans. Why can't a bunch of you men do? That would be wild if Jesus came back with Mary Magdalene. She starts an OnlyFans. That's crazy. Is she the patron saint of OnlyFans? I kind of want to get a candle made of Mary Magdalene, patron saint. But they're not prostitutes. They're sex workers. See what I mean? But she is the patron saint of sex workers. You know what? We're starting a new church. Our Lady of Mary Magdalene. The saint of sex workers. But it's true. Jesus hung out with the sex workers. Why can't we? Why can't we embrace them? I know a sex worker. They're a very lovely person. Actually, one of my favorite people, to be fair with you. But of course, the Christian nationalists would disagree. They would disagree. But they have no problem pardoning January 6th rioting members when they were busting down the walls of the Capitol, threatening to kill our vice president, tasering our own police officers. But they're for the cops, though. They're for law enforcement. But these January 6ers, they're what we really need in our country. And they're gangsters. And listen, matter of fact, I'll even give them this, right? I'll give MAGA people this. They, too, feel like they haven't got their piece of the crime. Because a lot of these poor whites are poor. Like, that's one thing that never gets covered. I think it's always this underlying thing of all these dumb poor whites. But I try to steer away from dumb poor whites a little bit because here's the thing. They don't got shit. And when you don't got shit and someone says, hey, you want some shit? You go to the guy who's going to give you shit. That's it. It's that simple. I wish it was something more complex, but it really is just that. And then when you say, hey, it's the DEI program that took it from you. It's the immigrants that took it from you. It's very easy to fall into that trap. Very easy for them to fall into that trap. Because they haven't left where they're from, so they've never met any other cultures. They don't know that we're struggling out here in New York the way you're struggling. This is a different struggle. We struggle to maintain apartments. You're struggling to maintain a house. Think about that. Our rent is the same as a mortgage in another state. Think about that shit. But that's what it is. That's what it is. They look at Trump as Jesus because they think he's taking down the tax collectors, but he's not. He's actually in bed with them. He's in bed with the wealthy, rich people. That brings us to the third point we're making today. You cannot serve both God and money, but all these rich guys only serve money. And Trump's only been about the money and the brand. The dude didn't even put his hand on the Bible when he got inaugurated. It's clear as day what this game is. It's always been a money game. It's always been a money game. And the thing about it is, one thing I will respect is they don't hide it from you. These billionaires had the best seats at the inauguration. They put money into his coffers because they were afraid that he was going to come after them. So now the dude's got all them on his fucking side. If there was ever a time for the lower classes to go, you know what? Fuck this red blue shit. These motherfuckers got us fucked up. But the problem is, half of us think those guys are there to save them, but they're really there to rob your pockets. These deacons, these bishops, these popes, they're here to rob you blind, baby. And it is what it is. It's what it is. And you can't tell people they're in a cult. You can't. Because when you tell someone they're in a cult, they double down that they're in a cult. Can't tell them they're in a religion, they double down. They'll watch this episode and go, he's an asshole. It's like, well, I'm far more Christ-like. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to put you on. The devil's out there. The devils are all here, and they're all wearing suits, except for Mark Zuckerberg, who's dressing like a hype beast now, which is very confusing. He's older than me. I'm 37. He's mid-40s. Cut it out. Cut it out. I wear cool movie T-shirts because I still at least have 5 more years of doing that. But gold chains, come on. What is he, Puerto Rican? Because I'm Puerto Rican, I can make that joke. But none of their movements have been Christ-like at all. None of it. What it really is, and I want to invite a conversation to our socials, our comment section. What it really comes down to, because Christian nationalism seems to be anti-minority, anti-immigrant, anti-LGBTQ, anti all that stuff. It really seems that Christian nationalism is about the plight of the white man. And I would like to know the plight of the white man. I would like to know, what is the white man responsible for? Who has ordained him to be responsible for society? What stresses do the white man have that I do not know? You see our socials on the screen. This will end in darkness on Instagram. TWED show on X, formerly Twitter. We're not on Blue Sky yet. Our comment section on YouTube where you're watching this. Let us know what the plight of the white. I really want to know. I am the latest in a long line of sociological professors, researchers, seekers, looking for the plight of the white man. And maybe if you were to let us share that plight, you wouldn't be so stressed out about it. Maybe it wasn't your plight to have. Who gave the white man this plight? When in history? Who did this to them? And don't say God. Don't say God, okay? I need a historical moment in time where someone went up to the white people and went, hey, you people, fix this. You're in charge now. Who were those people? When was the moment? I need to know the plight of the white man. Because every time I see a white man, there's something sad in his eyes. Something's doing it, more than likely a white woman, but something is doing it to him, and I need to know. Why is he so stressed? What is causing him harm that he must exude such hate to everyone else? And when you reach out, I don't want it to be, oh, taxes and money. No, fuck all that. No. Everyone deals with that. I want a true, pure, only white people, only they deal with it. I want to know the plight of the white man. What does he have to deal with that no other culture has to deal with? And I want to understand because I want to help him. I want to get him to the other side and realize, hey, you've got help. It may not be help you necessarily want, but you got black and brown people. We will help you. But you got to let us know what's happening to you. What is happening to you? And we will help. I'm extending a hand. I will be the olive branch that unites people on this Martin Luther King week special. Is this a part? This can't be an LLK special, is it? That'd be terrible. But like, I'm asking the plight of the white man. Hit us up. And if you want, send us a voice note on Instagram in our DMs. And if it's interesting, we'll play it on the next episode. How about that? Be a part of the show. Give us your plight of the white man. We'll keep it anonymous if you like. And we just give me a voice note. Tell me your plight as a white man. What do you need to do? Why is it that you must be the top of the food chain? Or what is it that you wish minorities understood about your plight? Maybe you're not a rich white man. Maybe you're just an everyday living white man. And there's something you want to get off your chest about your plight in this country, in this planet. I am here to listen because you've certainly gotten to this part of the episode. You've definitely heard this. All my plights. Now I'm asking you for your plight. Let's share plights. Let's have a sharing of plights, and I will be here to answer them. If we get some good responses, we will have a follow-up episode of me responding to those responses. And I do invite it. Listen, I'm so serious. I'm not like bullshitting. I'm so serious. If you have a plight, air it with us. And if you don't want to give your name, just send us a voice note on our DMs. We won't show anything. We'll just listen to the voice note, the comment. Like if you want to like do it even from a burner account, do it. Do it. What is the plight? And if you're watching this on TikTok and you want to do a stitch explaining the plight of the white man, do it. I want to know, what's the plight of the white man in 2025? What's the plight? I gotta know. Patrice O'Neill tried to do this. Several scientists tried to do this, and I don't think they got as far. And I'm just trying to push the ball ahead based on research they've done and I'm conducting every day of my life, because I've been wondering this for years. For years in my life, I have been wondering, what is the plight of the white man? And I want to know. I just want to know. I gotta know. I gotta know. I'm begging. I swear to God, I'm begging. I'm like right now, if you're not watching and you're listening on Spotify, I am praying to God right now. Dear Lord, it's me, Ralph, and I am begging you to bring me people who can share with me the plight of the white man, because I gotta know. I gotta know. I've been studying white people my entire life, and I need to know. This is hugely important. And if you can just be so kind and merciful and bless me with the best white people you could find, just send me the best white people you could find so I can know what the plight of the white man is and why he's so mad about other cultures, immigration, wealth disparity, like why he sucks up to the rich. I just want to know why. Why, Lord, please tell me. I just want to know. And if you can just grant me that, I'd be so thankful. So thankful. Please, 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 pretty please. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace. The Lord is with thee. And the thy own Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for our sinners, now and the hour of our death. Amen. Glory be to the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and forever shall be, world without end. Amen. Bring me the white man's plight. God damn it, bring me the white man's plight. I gotta know. I gotta know. I done told you why you're wrong on immigration. Done told you why you're wrong on hating other social groups. Done told you why you can't trust the rich. Welcome to this one in darkness. Share with me the white man's plight. Let's go. Let's have the conversation. The DMs are open. The DMs are open on all accounts. All accounts. You can find us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Bring it. I want to know, what is the plight of the white man? This is now your open mic. You can say whatever the fuck you goddamn want. What is the plight? And I will answer your plight to the best of my ability and see what I can do to help you. I probably said the phrase plight of the white man so much. There should be a counter. Maybe we'll do that in post. Put a counter of how many times I say plight of the white man. Anyway, I don't even know where to go from here. Anyway. Whether I get these answers or not, whether these Trumpsters realize they're following the wrong Jesus or not, I think we all know how this one is going to end.